Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
For the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
You know, there's days for everything on the calendar. You can pick up one of those calendars. Hey, today's National Popsicle Day. Tomorrow's National Dog Food Day. And the next day's National Toothpaste Day. And the next day's National Salt Taffy Day or whatever, right? I think the January 22nd in the NBA is just National Defense Optional Day. Don't come to play Defense Day. It was January 22nd years ago where Kobe Bryant dropped 81, if I'm not mistaken. Yesterday, January 22nd, Joel Embiid broke Wilt Chamberlain's franchise record, 70 points in a 133-123 win over San Antonio. But we're not done. Karl Anthony Towns, Minnesota Timberwolves, 64 franchise record in a loss to the Charlotte Hornets. Good morning to you. The morning after National Defense Optional Day. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, DC. Somebody's water from yesterday. How you living?
What it do?
You all right back there?
Oh, I'm doing great.
You play defense on your kid? Did he beat you in the driveway yesterday? A little decito just splashing from everywhere?
Yeah, he dropped 80.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You tried too.
It was defense optional day. I
right.
opted against.
I mean, did you know? I forgot to look at the calendar yesterday, right? I'm not wrong, right? There's National Disinfecting Wipes Day, National Free the Ants Day, and everything, right? January 22 is National Defense Optional Day. Am I wrong?
It is National Defense Optional.
70, dude. 70 is a number. Joel Embiid is terrific. The former record at Philadelphia was 68 by Wilt, who did everything. And yesterday, Joel Embiid surpassed that. He was 21 of 23 from the foul line, 24 of 41 from the field, 18 rebounds, 5 assists, turned the ball over just once in 36 minutes. That's pretty special, no?
It's really special. And Joel Embiid is a fantastic player. Joel Embiid is a top 5 player in the National Basketball Association. And it's also a reminder that it's going to take some time. Victor Wembanyama weighs 7 pounds and had no shot at doing anything defensively on Joel Embiid. And it wasn't just Joel Embiid backing him down to the post, being physical. He was shooting over Victor Wembanyama. Mid-range game, 3-point game, just destroying the San Antonio Spurs, who are very bad at basketball.
They got beat. I think they've won 8 games this year, if I'm not mistaken, and lost, 30. I'll get to the exact numbers if you really care. But I mean, second worst team in the league as far as standings, if I'm not mistaken. Second worst. No, third worst. Washington's worst. 8-30. Dude, there are some bad teams. It's going to be damn near. It's February next week, right? And you still have single-digit wins. There's 3 teams: Washington, Detroit, and them. Detroit's won 4 times. San Antonio's 8-35. Hey, Victor Wembanyama, here's your deal. All right, that dude you've been watching growing up that was really good, yeah, guard him tonight. Go ahead, rookie, 7'4", you're all that. Joel Embiid, I get the rookie. I'm putting up 70. 70, dude.
Beasting.
70. And then Karl Anthony Towns goes for 64. And they lose.
That's so bad.
How do you feel after you score 64 and you lose? Like,
You're
what-
a little conflicted, but mostly
I'm sorry,
like
62.
but you're mostly like, I'm awesome.
I mean, so you have 44 at halftime. Do you act depressed in the locker room and then leave and just go, yeah, boy, see what I did? I mean, how do you handle
No,
that?
it's best game you're ever gonna have scoring wise.
Right? He had 60 before. I didn't realize that. I mean, Duke can flat out flush it. Fourth quarter, he was just 4 points, 2 of 10. They were outscored 36-18 in the fourth quarter, and their coach said, well, you'll hear from their coach, Chris Finch, later. What was in the water last night? 62-70. We've seen a lot of 40, 50-point games this year, haven't we?
Yeah, the Hornets cannot defend the post. They haven't been able to do that the last 7 years. They are terrible at defending inside. But, Karl Towns started outside and he's hitting a ton of 3-point shots last night for the Timberwolves. That's such a bad loss because that's a good basketball team. Getting atop the Western Conference. And to lose that game, I understand why Chris Finch was outside himself after that one.
So there were 8 games in the NBA last night. That's 16 teams. One of them scored under 100 points. And that was 99 points by Orlando. National Defense Optional Day. Put that on the calendar. Let's remember that next January 22. Because obviously that is a thing in the National Basketball Association. All right, we got a ton to do today. Did you guys watch the hoops? Like, did you? I watched a little early and watched them going off. And I'm like, how much time am I going to watch the 76ers rip apart the Spurs? Like, honestly, like Jeopardy's got to be on or something. Like, there's got to be, I can talk to my kids.
I watched a lot of the
it?
Embiid Victor Wembanyama game because I'm just looking at the Spurs. I know they're so young, and Wembanyama's got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But I just watched that team with Greg Popovich.
Yeah.
And how uncompetitive they've been, and it blows my mind. Like, shouldn't you be trying to do something now?
Are they not trying?
It doesn't look like it at times.
They're really bad, and I wonder how that guy can.
They're almost too young right now to be competitive at any spot
for him. This feels so Belichickian, and I know when Belichick was going through it, I said it felt so Popovichian. Popovichian. Anyway,
Popovichian.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doesn't this feel like here's this guy who's won so many championships, a guy that I think we all accepted as the best coach of his era, right? After Phil Jackson, then it was him. And now he's in his 70s, and now he's got a young team, and now he's got a young star, and they are horrible. Horrible. Now, granted, to your point, so super young. I don't know if that feels like not having a quarterback. They got a young star. They have the number 1 overall pick, this young, once-in-a-decade guy. And to be this horrible, I'm not going to lie to you. I knew the West was tough. I didn't think that we'd be sitting here damn near February and they'd be in single-digit wins. Did you?
I didn't think that Wembanyama was going to be the light switch a lot of people thought he was going to be.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be
in year one.
Yeah.
Like, he is a good basketball player. He is ridiculously young. He has a tremendous ceiling. But San Antonio, if you take a step back, they were in the Wembanyama sweepstakes for a reason. It feels like they've been a young team for the last 5 years.
It does.
And
one star.
They got the star, but now you need some adults in the room, and they don't quite have those guys. And you're seeing a lot of young players trying to develop, but that's going to be a little bit longer than I think anyone anticipated when you have a player like Victor Wembanyama.
But how do you get adults in the room at that point, right? I mean, how do you get free agents to go, A, to San Antonio, and B, to play on a really bad team, right?
Well, because there's good players playing on bad teams over the league.
There are,
but
not a conglomeration of them that makes them a good team.
San Antonio, though, now it's finally their starting point. Like, all right, you have the dude. What are you doing?
Now draft well again. Yeah, now you got to go.
Or even to say, all right, we have other young guys on this roster. Can we package a couple to get, not going to get a superstar in there, I understand that, but start getting some players in there.
Yeah.
It's just because you watch them and it's a hard watch.
I watched a little bit of it and I'm like, okay, man, I got it. It was over on NBA TV and I skimmed across it and I'm like, I fine. And then I saw on the Twitter that Embiid was going nuts, but you can't. I mean, does anybody know who Julian Champagne is? Or I mean, I couldn't have named you 3 guys on this team. I mean, after Wembanyama, I guess I would have remembered
Zach
that
Collins,
Doug
man.
McDermott was there, and then I forgot Zach Collins was there.
Showing
Yeah, I don't.
kid out of Baylor. I do like him a lot.
Jeremy Sochan out of Baylor. Yeah, I
Blake Wesley.
Yeah, I mean Devin Vassell from Florida.
Yeah, they
State.
just paid him a lot of money this offseason too.
How much is a lot?
They gave him a sizable contract.
All right, Trey Jones out of Duke. No way would I. I mean, would you name 3 Spurs before you
Name
watched the
3
last
Spurs.
night? I couldn't have. And that's why they're 8-34 or whatever, 8-36 or whatever they are. 8-35. Holy smokes! All right, big night in the NBA last night, and 2 dudes just go bonkers. We got a lot of NFL to do for you today. The Titans appear to have a head coach. There is a new, most polarizing guy in the league. I want to have this conversation, and I'm not here to defend or attack, or I honestly am here to try to understand. Will you help me understand the hate? Did Josh Allen do something offensive? Did he say something? Did he act in a way? Why has he become the most polarizing guy in the NFL right now?
This is a really interesting conversation.
Can we do that when we get back?
Yes.
All right, 505-246-0610 is how to get here. That is the Sports Animal phone line and the Sports Animal text line. You can send emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. You can send it to JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Watch the show. We're on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM. We're on Comcast Channel 26 and the ProView Network's YouTube channel. Adrian produces there. So a lot of ways to participate. Kenny Thomas will be here at 9 o'clock. We'll kick it with Kenny. Lobos are ranked. We'll talk to him about what it means to be ranked and what they're facing tomorrow night, late night in San Jose.
I just think of that line. No one knows what it means, but it gets the people going.
Yeah, it does.
And that's what an AP ranking does.
It's dead on. Nobody. I mean, what does it mean? It means your scores get put on the bottom line, and that's it. Hey, winter's here. We're gonna get another little dose of rain and sludge and junk today. And when it's done, may I suggest you call my friends at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. In fact, get a hold of them now and make your appointment for after this storm. What does On the Spot Automotive do? They do detailing. They do window tinting. They do paint protection. And they do it better than anybody else. And they do it where and when it's convenient for you. That means they come to you. You don't bring your vehicle to them. So whilst you are working in your office or in your shop or maybe in your home, they're outside and they're working on your vehicle. And then you get a text, you go outside and your vehicle is detailed. Remember the day you took it off the lot when it smelled and looked and felt brand new? That's what this is. And they were awarded Best of the City in 2023 because they're reliable and efficient and the best when it comes to what they do. You can book online. You can buy online. This is a great gift. Valentine's Day is coming up. This is a winner for Valentine's Day dinner. On the Spot Automotive Detailing, look at them at otsdetailing.com. That's otsdetailing.com.
How wrestling.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Show this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. but it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
so that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver.
Right there, Hallmark. Does Hallmark make all these days? Who declares it like National Turtleneck Sweater Day?
The Turtleneck Company,
right? Or National Bubblegum Day, or whatever. Right? Who declares those things? Can you just declare your own day?
I do declare.
All right. Oh, that's a good point. You need somebody to say, and so it be, right? Yeah. It has to be as
declare.
Yeah. See, it's got to be somewhere. Who does that? Is it Hallmark? They do everything.
They do. I think it used to be. Now it is kind of
just whatever you want.
Yeah. It's like buying a star.
It's like buying a star. I want that one. That's mine. Yeah. So January 22nd is National Defense Optional Day in the NBA.
I do declare.
That's right. I think that's right. And so declared, so it shall be. And so
I proclaim.
Yeah.
I do declare.
Who declared that Josh Allen is the most polarizing guy in the NFL, even more so than Aaron Rodgers? Right? How did that happen? I'm going to open this up, and I get it. In some respects, he has not gotten. How many years Josh Allen been in the league? 4, 5, 6? He hasn't.
2018.
So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 6 years. All right. He hasn't gotten his team to the Super Bowl. He hasn't gotten his team past Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. And so I get it. Normally when a guy is so polarizing, he's really, really verbally controversial, right? Or visually, or does something. Help me understand where the Josh Allen hate has come from.
I wouldn't call it hate as much as this is what you have to do. In the world we live in,
okay,
you can't just be good. You're either good to the point where you're taking your team to championships, or you're a failure. There's no in between. Because Josh Allen is good. Josh Allen's playoff performances have been pretty good. They were good this year. But he lost to Patrick Mahomes again, and so there has to be something to blame. You can never just get beat. It has to be the head coach's fault. It has to be the quarterback's fault. There has to be a failure involved in how we discuss sports. That is the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so with Josh Allen, it's if you're going to say he's an elite quarterback and he's only been to the AFC Championship game once. He's lost at home in the divisional round. Well, what was the divisional round, right? Because it was wild card. Yeah, the divisional round the last 2 years. He has to take that blame. But I think when you look at Josh Allen and you lost, all right, to Joe Burrow, who went to a Super Bowl, but then you can't get past Patrick Mahomes right now, it's like, get in line. And there's been a picture going around social media the last couple of days, which is a reminder of you can be good, but if you don't win that one game, people think you're bad. And this last run that Buffalo has been on with Josh Allen, it compares very well to Phillip Rivers and the Chargers. Those were good football teams. But wasn't beating Peyton Manning, wasn't beating Tom Brady, and it's viewed as a failure.
Is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer? We've had this conversation. I think we came to the consensus that he is, right? And I'm not telling you Josh Allen's a Hall of Famer yet. Josh Allen's a good quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen came in and got better. Josh Allen appears to be a pretty good citizen in that community. Josh Allen appears to be a pretty good teammate, except with Stephon Diggs. And I'm not sure that I'm ready to side with Stephon Diggs just because it's easy to side with the receiver, right? And by the way, Stephon Diggs probably should catch the footballs that are put in his hands, and maybe we'd have a different outcome. Edward sent me a text, and you can send it at 505-246-0610. Josh Allen, 27 years old, 6th year in the league. 5 straight playoff appearances, 5-5 record with a 100 passer rating. 3 losses to what is likely the second best quarterback ever in Mahomes. 2 of them excruciating. Deals with a dysfunctional head coach. 3 different offensive coordinators in 6 years. Is asked to do more with the offense than any quarterback other than maybe Jackson. 7 defensive starters out Sunday against the Chiefs. Tough luck, man. It is tough luck. And you got to win the games. So I'm not going to sit here. I find myself in this position where, because I think he's pretty good, I find myself defending him. I don't think he's great. Well, is there, and this is, the Phillip Rivers thing is a really good comparison. Is there not room in this world for someone who's really good with an upside and a potential to become better? He's 27 years old. I think if there's 32 teams in the league, I think there's 27 or 28 that would love to have this guy, right? Ish. I mean, ish. I keep going back to the 13-second game where he did everything in possible. Every other quarterback in the history of the game ever who has led a 2-minute drive that culminated with a go-ahead touchdown with 13 seconds to go won that football game, right? Every other one, every single one. Patrick Mahomes came down on his defense and beat him, and they won a coin toss and lost. This one, they got beat. Kicker missed a field goal with 1:46 to go. I don't know that that's what cost him the game. He wasn't. I mean, Josh Allen had to make some more plays. Okay, 7 defensive starters out. Like, they didn't win, but I just typically when I hear this much venom directed towards a dude, the guy said something, did something, and that's my disconnect on this. Is why is it because he's from Wyoming and not from Alabama?
No, it's because he's an NFL quarterback.
Okay.
Tua's from Alabama. People don't think he can play.
Yeah, he's not catching this, man. I mean,
7 points in a playoff game.
Do you hear him catching this? And
because Tua's not. Because Josh Allen, we talk about him as top 2, top 3 quarterback in the league, and you lost 2 home playoff games.
Yeah. The other one was to Cincinnati, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, to go to the Super Bowl.
And so there has to be a reason. There has to be a failure. Instead of just normal accountability, going, you got beat by Patrick Mahomes.
No.
You got by Joe Burrow, who's the only other guy that's in this conversation that we can say could be nipping at the heels of Patrick Mahomes. It has to be a failure. It's the Dak Prescott thing. Now, I'm not saying that Josh Allen's Dak Prescott, but Dak Prescott still a really good quarterback.
Yep.
But he failed on the biggest stage. Now, Josh Allen played better, but what I'm saying is you go over the top and you're like, this dude can't play. You can't give him a contract. You need to cut him. It's because you overanalyze the quarterback position. Like Josh Allen, you watch that playoff game, and I'm with you. Josh Allen wasn't the reason they lost.
Yeah.
But you're the home quarterback. We talk about you so much as being a top 3 guy in the league.
Right. And he had the ball at the end. He had the ball at the end, and they could have had that drive, and they didn't get it done. I'm not telling you there shouldn't be criticism.
It's the way people work.
It feels this one, and I think you got 2 really good examples there. And Dak has been getting hit, right? Dak has been getting hit.
And he hasn't performed as well as Josh Allen in the playoffs. It's not, I understand that, but it's the right when it's over, boom, that's the dude that needs to.
Was Tua drafted at a higher slot than Josh Allen? He was, correct?
Yeah, Tua was 5th overall pick.
Tua had an offense that we thought,
Josh
early in the
6th,
season,
right?
5th or 6th. So they're drafted in the same spot. Tua Tagovailoa played on an offense that, I don't know, when they put 70 on your team this year, and there were people telling me it might be the best offense we've ever seen in the NFL, right? Mm-hmm. How far did they get in the playoffs? I forget. Oh, wait, they didn't get this far. He's not catching nearly the heat.
He had the injury-prone label for a long time. So,
okay.
I mean, that's might have earned it, but it's not like he wasn't getting any heat at all.
But, I mean, this year, like as I watch this now, right? Has Allen been in the league one more year? I'm just trying to figure out where it's. That's all. I'm not telling you he shouldn't catch any heat. Everything JJ said is right. Right? You get to a point, you're 6 years in, you can't get by that guy. You got a team, you got him at home. That's a game that, and they had an opportunity and they didn't win. He had the ball in his hand at the end, and the drive stalled. They missed the field goal. Even if they hit the field goal, I'm convinced with a minute 46 to go, Mahomes goes down and Butker kicks a field goal and they lose the game anyway. So, but I keep going back to the 13-second game, and that's the one that proved to me that he can do it. Okay? That's the game that proved to me that he can.
It's like you lost to Patrick Mahomes twice.
Yeah.
In those moments that we're talking about. That's just going to happen. But now I'll take it a step further where you're at. What do you want?
What do you mean?
Like, all right, Josh Allen lost those games. What do you want? Like, so we just say Josh Allen's not good, but no, I'm saying the national narrative around it.
Right.
You're saying people are so angry. All right, well then, what do you want? Do you want Josh Allen to get cut?
Yeah.
Do you want Josh Allen? Josh Allen's only the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. How dare we say
fine.
Like that? And then, so that's where I'm with you on it. It's like, okay, you can be upset. If you're a Bills fan, you're frustrated. If you're a football fan, what do you want from the conversation now?
Yeah.
That dude is still going to be in position to win a ridiculous amount of football games.
Yeah, and at some point, I'm convinced he will get over the hump. I look at it, typically when there is this much venom directed at a dude, it's he said something, did something right, something brash, something, guaranteed, something that really is overblown that he said or did. And I can't find that moment. Am I missing it?
Oh, it's just lost in the playoffs at home.
Because he feels to me like a pretty humble guy. He feels to me like his teammates seem to like him except for Stephon Diggs.
I think what frustrates a lot of people is the narrative that they're running with the entire season. Was, Josh Allen's going to turn it over. Josh Allen's going to lose the game. They couldn't talk about that.
Because he didn't?
Because Josh Allen didn't throw an interception in 2 playoff games.
Yeah.
Like, Josh Allen played really good football for 2 games.
Yeah.
And so they don't know what to do. Like, sometimes you just lose.
Sometimes you
and
just lose.
It's not, you suck, it's a failure. Like, you got beat by what is going to be the best quarterback of this generation. It was Tom Brady handing it off to Patrick Mahomes. Dude's been in 6 straight AFC championship games.
Yeah. And it's frustrating, and it is totally Patrick Ewing running into Michael Jordan every year. It's Karl Malone running into Michael Jordan, right? It's all those teams that all those guys, Barkley and all those NBA greats who never won a title because Michael Jordan was winning all the titles.
And Joe Burrow did it once.
Yeah, well,
getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so he has the get out of jail free card.
He does. But meanwhile, Josh Allen has been way more sturdy, available. Not hurt, available, right? Than Joe Burrow. If I don't have him in front of me, but I'm going to guess if you put up Joe Burrow and Josh Allen's numbers over the last 2 years, it's Josh Allen, but because Joe Burrow got there once, you're right. He gets that get out of jail free. I'm not sitting here to just say he shouldn't receive anything. I am just a little bit taken back. I surprised by the amount of he's not the guy Venom after 6 years. He can't get by that guy. Look, I get it, man. If you want to tell me he's not that special, he's not the greatest of the generation, I'm good with that, man. One dude's going to be the greatest. And then there's others who are going to be really, really good. And I think he's really good. And I get it. He hasn't gotten over that hump and beat that guy. I watched that game. It's hard for me to sit here and say he's the only reason they lost that game. In fact, I don't know how many better passes he's got to throw. I mean, catch the ball, dude.
Yet I'm much more concerned about last year's game against Cincinnati than anything that happened this weekend.
And he got past that, right?
And when they scored 10 points at home and got beat 27-6.
Right, and so he got past it and put together this year and got him to this point, and they got beat. And again, you want to criticize him for getting beat and say he's not that guy? Cool, man. He's not that dude. You're right. He's not Mahomes. He's not. You know who else isn't? Everyone
else?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow beat him once. And everyone's like, Burrowhead, this or that. Like,
yeah.
Mahomes is on a special run. That Kansas City team with Mahomes and Andy Reid is going to do this to a lot of quarterbacks and good teams over the next 10 years.
I see you back there percolating on something.
Well, I started thinking about Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
It took Peyton Manning a long time to get over the hump. 9 years in with his first Super Bowl, 6 years for the MVP. I mean, he turned it around pretty well. And, he's first ballot Hall of Famer. It's not too late for Josh Allen.
I think that's a really good comp. And it's on relatively the same trajectory, right? I think they're going to probably make a change. Do you think they change coaches?
I think they really have to consider that. That's the one variable that you got to look at and say, if we make a move there, is this roster?
I think there's two variables.
The other being quarterback, or
no? I think it's Stephon Diggs. I think he's going to his number one receiver is going to be somewhere else. I just don't know. Let's see how that continues.
Well, one of the big problems is that his contract goes from $17 million to like $46.
And so, who wants it?
So, well, yeah, I mean that's Josh Allen. Goes up to $47. So they might have some cap issues. And trying to keep guys like Von Miller and Diggs and some of these, that it's going to get expensive.
Well, they benched Von Miller.
Yeah, he barely played.
Late in the season.
He played at the playoff game.
Healthy DMP scratch type of stuff.
He's got a huge contract. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Is that they're going to have contract issues.
They're going to have to draft a receiver. They're going to have to draft.
They're going to have to eat it for a year.
Yeah,
to try to get back on track.
Yeah,
yeah, but they're going to then draft a receiver.
But you'll be competitive because you have Josh Allen at least.
It seems to me you've got a good offensive line. You found a running back in James Cook who was as good as most. Upper echelon running back. Get your defense healthy. What were they down? 7 starters, right? And they lose by 3 points. This is the ultimate team game, and I get it. There's one guy that gets a win and loss. The venom, the emotion behind some of the criticism I've heard is crazy to me. Where it gets so personal, I'm like, man, is the guy just an absolute a-hole that nobody knows about, but just these national talking heads? Doesn't seem that way. I don't know. Where are you guys on Josh Allen? 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. By the way, he said he's probably not going to have to shoulder surgery. He believes what they've got going on there and the people in charge, believes in himself, and that won't change, and good for him. And, he says all signs are pointing up, and it's bleak right now, but we're going to turn this thing around. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. One more head coaching position has been filled, and it's not by either Harbaugh or Belichick. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. An AM 670 Sports Animal, your home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. proviewsports.com.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Titans have found their head coach. Brian Callahan has been the Bengals offensive coordinator for the past 5 years. By many reports, he's going to be the next coach of the Titans. Meanwhile, Jim Harbaugh, it sounds like he's going to get a second interview with the Chargers. And there's a big thought that he's playing the Chargers against Michigan to get more money, right?
But he can be playing the Chargers against Michigan, against the Falcons.
No.
Where he's set to have a second interview there, the ATL. So he's kind of has all the cards on the table, and he's seeing where they land.
Chad, good morning. You want to talk about Josh Allen. How are you, Chad? Let me do that again. Hello, Chad. Right there, go ahead, Chad.
Hello?
Yeah. Sorry, man. I missed the button. Go.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice in watching the Bills game how Josh Allen dependent they are on their entire offense. Everything evolves around him. So, whether he's running the ball, he kind of has that Ben Roethlisberger in him, will just kind of create plays. He's pretty much heavily involved, and it kind of reminds me of the Chicago Bulls, the Doug Collins Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan. Super Michael Jordan dependent. Everything was evolved around him, and it took a guy like Phil Jackson to come in and present the triangle offense, a scheme, plays, kind of a philosophy that involved other people, and still brought out the best in MJ, but got other people involved a little more. And it kind of just seeing McDermott and some of that fake punt call, I couldn't believe that. I was like, wow, that was just a bad call. Bad timing on that entirely. Bad field position. Everything was, the game was going pretty good. It just kind of, that wasn't part of the feng shui of the moment. It just kind of threw everything off. So I wonder if it's almost like bringing in a different guy, because they've done this 4 years in a row now, a different coach that could, better utilize what's there at the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, and I think they're thinking that too, Chad. I got to believe that's the thought process going on there. It's going to be interesting to see, because you had Sean McDermott, you had his words became a big issue during the season, but then they went on that tear at the end, right? And he did a hell of a job riding that ship and keeping that locker room together and winning the division. So you're going to fire the coach who was the 2 seed and won 6 in a row, 7 in a row down the stretch, and I think it's a fair evaluation.
Yeah. One other thing though too, remember during the season they were not playing particularly well.
That's right.
Josh Allen was making a lot of mistakes.
Yep.
I remember him fumbling quite a bit. He was the guy kind of. Granted, it is Josh Allen-centric offense, but he was kind of the guy coughing up the ball, and so I like the player. I think he's a good player, but. It might not be a coach problem. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm just just from some observations from that game, I'm wondering if they got to rethink some things, and they're not there yet.
Thanks, Chad. Appreciate you. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yes, and his comparison goes back further than mine. Mine was the Golden State Warriors with Mark Jackson as their head coach. They were a team that was developing into a playoff winner, and they felt that they had hit their ceiling. They bring in Steve Kerr, and all of a sudden that group really puts it together and starts to win championships. And I think you have to be thinking about that in Buffalo, but maybe trying to pair Josh Allen with an offensive head coach to really maximize your best asset.
Who do you like?
And that is Josh Allen.
Who do you like? I mean, Ben Johnson.
I know that's the easiest name, but it's there's a lot of the other guys in the coaching cycle you look at, and that's a franchise that's been relatively consistent. When they've had success, they've stayed the course. But this is one where you take a step back and you do analyze it, because you're not changing the quarterback. The quarterback's good. Yes, you have cap issues to figure out, but that's going to happen when you try to make runs at it. And when they invested in Von Miller, they thought Stephon Diggs was going to be an extended wide receiver 1 option for them, and that was not good over the last 6 to 7 weeks of the season. But I do think you sit down, as all these teams do at the end of the season. I mean, the Sean McDermott one's interesting because, they had to come on late in the season, but I could also ask that question if I'm ownership going, why did we need you? Why did we start so bad when we have a team that showed can't compete with the best?
Bills are $49 million over the cap, the expected cap. Stephon Diggs accounts for basically $28 million of that cap next year. Stephon Diggs, in his final 7 games, including the playoffs, averaged 41 receiving yards, 0 touchdowns. And it's not because he didn't get opportunity. Catch the ball. Von Miller, you mentioned Von Miller. He's 35 years old. 0 sacks this season. His cap hit is $24 million. He's coming back from ACL, and he's got an investigation open for allegedly assaulting his pregnant girlfriend. That's $50 million. You're 49 over the cap. How does that work? You can't just release those guys, right? You guys know the cap structure.
You take cap hits. Like, this team is going to have to take a hit to kind of reset some things on the roster moving forward.
Micah Hyde's a free agent. Gabe Davis is a free agent. Tre'Davious White, linebacker Matt Milano. They got issues keeping that whole thing together. I don't know where they need the most. I mean, if they need to hit defense first, they're going to need a receiver, right? Don't you think?
They have a good foundation.
I agree with you.
It's outside of Josh Allen, you have James Cook, you have Dalton Kincaid, Khalil Shakir is a good slot receiver. He can be a fine wide receiver too.
2 tight ends in Dawson Knox. You utilize them enough. You got 2 good tight ends.
Yeah. But the passing game goes through Kincaid.
Kincaid's terrific. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. All right, when we come back, told you what I don't get. JJ's going to tell you what's blowing his mind, a very constant narrative in the National Football League and why. That's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal, your home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
It'll be the Lions at the 49ers and then the Chiefs at the Ravens. Opening drive, Jefferson be out of J.J. Buck. So I told you, I don't understand. I understand the criticism. I'm not sure I understand the vitriol, hate, aggression at Josh Allen. There's something that kind of is getting you a little bit. You're hearing.
It's the legacy question. It's an easy headline to put on social media. It's an easy headline to put on the bottom of the screen on all your talking head shows. X person's legacy on the line this weekend. Okay. And the question, I'm reading it this morning, watching the crew on ESPN, it was, is Lamar Jackson's legacy on the line? No. He loses a playoff game at home.
To Patrick
It's going to
Mahomes.
stink. You lose to Patrick Mahomes, but you don't think that dude's coming back, going to be in the same position next year, just like Josh Allen, having their teams in the postseason, having their teams with the chance to compete? It's like, what does that mean? So he loses this game and you're not moving forward with Lamar Jackson? That's what I'm looking for, is the answer to these questions. His legacy's on the line. All right, he loses this game and he's never going to get a chance to win a playoff game. He's never going to get a chance to get back to the AFC Championship game. There's always that if, because it ain't that easy.
That's right.
But what are people looking for that answer that question? Yes, Lamar Jackson's legacy on. If he doesn't win this game, I'm only ranking him as the 6th best quarterback in the NFL next year.
Yeah, because anybody cares where you put him on your little list. And he gets a little bit more leeway because he is won an MVP and is going to win a second. So for some reason, there's people who
just playing his 6th playoff game,
and he's not 5-5 in the playoffs, right? So where's he been? Josh Allen gets no credit because for whatever reason, and MVP is a big deal, but it's also a voted upon deal. Josh Allen hasn't won an MVP, so Lamar Jackson gets more credit. Well, he's won. So what's more important, winning MVPs or would you tell me?
I think Lamar Jackson.
What's Lamar Jackson's playoff record?
He's 2-3 now.
All right, what's better, 2-3 or 5-5? Just asking.
Well, and this is all. It goes back to what I said.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson hasn't had those bad playoff losses, so there's less to shred him about because you're not talking about him in the playoffs.
They've been in the league the same amount of years?
Yeah.
They came in the same class?
Mm-hmm. Now, Lamar was not a starter from day one. It was still Joe Flacco's team.
All right, he's 2-3, and the other guy's 5-5. It's twice as many playoff games. Well, but he's not as good as because that other guy's won the MVP. I don't care about anybody's list. I really don't. Any more than anybody cares about my list, right? I'm not. You know how I feel about list radio. Wow, here's my top. Whatever. Good for you. Knock yourself out. Everybody's list is subjective. You've got one. You've got one. You've got one. That's great. Mahomes at the top, and then here's this guy, and here's this guy. Fine. Good. You don't care. I don't care. But I don't know. they've been in about the same amount of time. One guy's played double the amount of playoff games. That means he's earned his way. It's the team that's earned their way in. Well, you can't have it both ways, can you? I mean, the fact that Josh Allen's put him in position to play 10 playoff games already in 6 years is pretty impressive, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Lamar's played 5. Well, Lamar's won 2 MVPs. You're right.
1.
Well, he's about ready to win his second, but you're right. Yes, 1. Going on 2. I mean, do we doubt he's going to win the MVP?
And it's a ridiculous conversation to have. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are good quarterbacks.
That's right.
And if they both happen to lose to Patrick Mahomes, what do you want to do? So that's what I'm always asking. They're not that good. Okay, they're going to be right back in the same position next year. They're going to be destroying your favorite football team next year to get back in the postseason. Sometimes there's not a definitive fire the head coach, get a new quarterback. Sometimes you just lose. And that's what we saw with the Buffalo Bills. But I do think that's an interesting conversation with Sean McDermott that you can actually have. In this case, Baltimore loses at home to Kansas City. It's going to be frustrating, but you're running it right back with John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, because that keeps you in the running to try to beat those dudes on the other side. And by the way, they're the favorites in that game. Let's see what happens on Monday morning.
Who's the favorites?
Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, it's like 6.5 points, right?
It was like 3 started.
There's a lot of really good quarterbacks who never got over the hump. How long did it take John Elway to finally get there? A long time, right? A long time before John Elway
finally win it, but he got there.
He got there kind of early.
He got there early, then he couldn't get back, and he couldn't get over the Browns, right?
Well, 87, 89.
Your comp on Peyton Manning was really good.
Yeah, I'm digging into that more because I'm kind of wondering what changed in Indianapolis to get them over the hump, and I sort of wonder if a similar situation could present itself.
Dan Fouts, Phillip Rivers, Matthew Stafford before he went to the Rams. I mean, Archie Manning. There's great quarterbacks who never got over the hump because there was that dude in front of him. There was that dude in the way. Donovan McNabb was pretty good for a long time, was he not? I don't think he was this good, but I thought he was really good. 505. What?
4 straight NFC championships.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. This is good stuff. What do you want him to do? Does Lamar have to win? Legacy. What does that matter to you? It once was a team game, wasn't it? Somebody told me it was like the ultimate team game. It's the ultimate drive. Ultimate drive. It's the opening drive or the ultimate drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Channel, your home for the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico.
New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Well, there it is. Joel Embiid goes for 70 last night. That's right, 70 last night. Broke a 76ers record held by Wilt Chamberlain in a Sixers win. Karl Anthony Towns chased that with 62. In a loss, Minnesota loses to Charlotte last night. It's the day after the Lobos reappear in the top 25. Kenny Thomas is going to be here coming up at 9 o'clock. An hour from now, we'll kick it with Kenny, talk about the rankings. Late night game tomorrow against San Jose State. And then Noodles and Alfred come to town on Sunday for another late night game on Sunday night. It's the opening drive, Jeff, JJ, and DC.
Is the legacy on the line?
Ooh, that's right.
For everyone who's ever played sports, their legacy's on the line.
It's really interesting conversation about legacies, and I don't know. Everything.
We're talking about 27-year-old quarterbacks.
Look, this is where legacies are made, and you add and don't add to legacies. I mean, we were literally, well, I hate saying we heard the conversation on Tom Brady when he was with Tampa Bay, 2-3 years ago in the Super Bowl. And does he need this? He didn't need a damn thing for his legacy. Now, can this add to his legacy? Sure, it could. But his legacy was set. You mean, so if he didn't win one when he was 43 years old, it was going to somehow detract from his legacy? But I guess because we have so much content and so many microphones and so many people screaming into them, that there's got to be this, Josh Allen isn't this guy, and Lamar's not the guy unless he can beat this guy. And there's an area for good, man. There's an area for good. Josh Allen is not great. He's really good. And I look back through, the careers of a lot of guys. Ken Anderson with the Bengals never won a Super Bowl. He got there, Jeff. Yeah, you're right.
You're
right.
You bring up Tom Brady at the end.
Yeah.
Or even Aaron Rodgers. I'm having those conversations differently about,
of course,
the totality of their career and legacy stuff. But Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson still have so many more chances where I'm just not buying that question right.
That he can't get over the hump. They didn't. And again, I'll keep going back to that 13-second game. That proved to me that he can. unless you got another one for me, 100% of the time in the history of the NFL, when a quarterback has led a fourth quarter drive and scored the go-ahead touchdown with 13 seconds to go, that was the winning touchdown. We've celebrated that as the winning touchdown, right? 100% of the time, except for that. And so that game proved to me that he's got it in him. Now, maybe I'm overvaluing that because the magician on the other side came back and erased it, right? And so it wasn't a game-winning drive. It was just a nice fourth quarter drive that culminated with a touchdown with 13 seconds to go.
I think Josh Allen is good. I think he can do it. At some point, you want to see it, but I'm with you. I'm like, all right, well, what's the answer to the question? You don't. Like, the change at the head coach when you get to a certain point in the run. Maybe. I'm having that conversation, but you're not worried about a contract extension. We're not screaming about Josh Allen only needs to take $38 million so the Bills can do this or that. It's just
okay.
Got to run it back.
We have these conversations. You evaluate everything around him, right? That's what you told me. That's what everybody says, and you're not wrong. All right, evaluate what's around him, and evaluate what's around Mahomes. Like if you'd have put Mahomes on if you'd have switched uniforms the other day, who wins the game?
I think the Bills win it.
Why? Because then Stephon Diggs catches passes? Because they're thrown by Mahomes?
Like Josh Allen. Oh, if Travis Kelce, it was a Travis Kelce like bounce back from the dead game.
Okay.
But Josh Allen had enough in that game, offensively.
I'm going to disagree with you. I just am. What did he have besides him?
James Cook.
He had
Dalton
Cook and Kincaid. And then he threw the ball to his wideouts, who dropped the ball all day.
Yeah.
And that was Kansas City all year, right? Mm-hmm. The receivers dropped the ball all year. They still got here. I can't think of one drop. I can't by Kansas City last week.
And that's
these guys made plays.
That's also more to the story too. Of if you're Buffalo, you're like, really?
Yeah.
Like now,
yeah.
Valdez-Scantling is making plays downfield,
tough catches,
catching the football. Like, what is happening?
Their guys made plays. I mean, I don't know how much better you want Josh Allen to throw the football to his $30 million receiver who says, give me the ball. All right, dude, here it is. Big moment. Catch the ball. I haven't heard a word from Stephon Diggs, have you?
Nope.
Who was quite vocal last year when they got beat, wasn't he?
Yep.
Where's he? Last year, all I heard was he's frustrated and didn't get the damn ball and throw me the ball. I'm the guy. All right, dude, here's the moment. Where's the criticism of him? Have you heard any of it?
Yeah.
Really?
He's been MIA for 7 weeks. That's a quarterback and wide receiver thing.
Quarterback threw him the ball. The only thing I heard is, well, there's something going on with that relationship. I don't care if you guys hate each other, man.
Diggs.
Ball lands in your lap, catch it. Yeah, I don't know that I feel that if they would have switched positions, the result would have been different. I mean, Kansas City to me, was healthier, certainly defensively, and I think they got more. In what I'm told constantly is the ultimate team game, and I believe that, by the way. I believe it is the ultimate team game. Basketball, you got one dominant dude. One team can make a difference.
They win that game. If Patrick Mahomes is quarterback of Buffalo, they win that game out.
Buffalo does.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's the same. Why?
Yeah.
Because the same reason you're sitting here. If that field goal goes in, you think Patrick Mahomes wins the game on the other end.
So you think he finishes that drive by throwing the ball to all right, maybe. I disagree. But I see where you're coming from. I disagree with you. What do you think?
Khalil Shakir is pretty good the last 2 weeks.
He was.
I agree with JJ. If Mahomes is on the Bills, they definitely win. They have a much better line. I think it kind of goes to show how good Mahomes really is, that his line at the end of the year was ranked 18th overall, and he can still go in and win these games on the road. It's amazing.
Then there's that, right? I mean, how special he is. And I mean, even when they're not great team-wise. Remember, you weren't here. It wasn't this last offseason. It was 2 Augusts ago. JJ, remember going into the season, well, Tyreek Hill's gone. This was when the Chargers or the Raiders are going to win, and I was adamant. Like, you're really going to tell me that taking Tyreek Hill away from Patrick Mahomes means they're not the favorite anymore? Patrick Mahomes made Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill didn't make Patrick Mahomes. And I was adamant last year, and they won the Super Bowl, that the Chiefs were going to still win that division and still be that good with or without Tyreek Hill. And this was, I don't know, man. Tyreek Hill's gone. He went to Miami, and I just don't stop it. And maybe you kind of, I don't know that you meant this point, but you led me to this. Maybe we're starting to take Patrick Mahomes for granted. He's that damn good, dude. Because I don't think this is a great offense. And so if you're going to tell me, if you put Josh Allen on Kansas City, well, they don't win that game. Well, what are you telling me? You're telling me that guy is that good that he's taken Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Rashee Rice and well, yeah, Travis Kelce was really good. And maybe are we like, damn, dude, he's that good and we're taking it for granted. Well, yeah, Josh Allen can't beat him because he's that freaking good. Is that? And so we got to beat up Josh Allen for that? Of course. And Justin Herbert's not held accountable because he can't get there.
Just wait till Justin Herbert gets on a real football team, Jeff. Watch out.
What are the Chargers, man?
Not a real football team.
Until
according to Jeff Symbieta.
That's right. I mean, is there something to it? Maybe we're taking
absolutely
Mahomes for granted? He's sensational. Who's beating him? Well, Joe Burrow beat him that one time. Okay. What's Joe Burrow
living off that?
And what's Joe Burrow done since? With all due respect to Joe Burrow, what's he done since?
Been hurt.
They went to the Super Bowl, got beat. It was close, and he's been unavailable and pedestrian since, right? And I think Joe Burrow's really good. This isn't me ripping on Joe Burrow.
It's interesting because he still gets grouped in that top tier of quarterbacks.
Dude, he gets put number 2 on a regular basis.
It is true.
Because why? Because he beat Patrick Mahomes one time. I mean, in all reality, if you were drafting
also
right
beat
now,
Josh Allen.
He did. But if you're drafting, Mahomes goes 1. Who's your next quarterback off the board? His is Herbert.
Is that of current?
Right now, he's taking Justin Herbert. But I mean,
my team name will not be the Chargers.
Are you taking Herbert though? Is he your next guy?
He's not number 2 for me.
Who's number 2?
Ooh, see, I like this.
I right now I like Lamar.
It's fair.
Watching him run last week,
he's different, right?
He is different. The way he stops and like Euro steps, it is just fun to watch.
He's different. Who you got?
I would still be contemplating Joe Burrow at number 2 overall.
Yeah.
But what I love about the evolution of Lamar Jackson and people now understanding just how good he is his legs are now option number 2.
That's right.
And that is what makes this Ravens
But it's
team.
a hell of an option. Dude.
Yeah, that's what makes this Ravens team so hard to defend because he's winning from the pocket. He's still keeping his eyes downfield when he gets out of the pocket. And then against the Texans, he's like, all right, guys, you know what? A little sluggish start. We're off for a couple weeks. Watch me in the second half.
It's a hell of an option number 2, man. 505-246-0610. All right, most of you, you're starting a franchise. Right now, everybody's on the board. You can pick a quarterback. The guy who's got you got second pick. Number 1 pick, Mahomes. Who you picking number 2? Who's your next quarterback off the board? Is it Lamar? Is it Burrow? Is it Herbert? Is it one of the young guys? You like C.J. Stroud? Do you like, I mean, you're moving forward. Who do you like? 505-246-0610. How you feeling, fellas? Sluggish, tired, fatigued? I get it, man. Maybe you're a little less energetic than you used to be. Maybe it's time for you to turn the page and call New Male Medical Center. At New Male, they specialize in men's health. They offer cutting-edge treatments for fatigue, for low testosterone, for erectile dysfunction. They have an expert team that is dedicated to helping you regain that spark and vitality. So imagine feeling energetic again, confident, at your best, whether it's reigniting passion, restoring your youthful vigor, even tackling hair loss. New Male's personalized treatments are designed just for you. So don't let another day go by feeling less than your best. You can join thousands of men who have transformed their lives with New Male. It's confidential, it's comprehensive. Most importantly, it's about you. Ready to discover that new you or rediscover that old you? Visit newmailmedical.com or call them at 505-652-1688 to schedule your private consultation today. That's 505-652-1688, New Mail Medical Center, where your new chapter begins. New Mail Medical Center. Feel young, feel energized, feel new.
This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Red Zone at 8:30. You down with that? Blood drive coming up. I got info for you, but not just a blood drive. I mean, you can win stuff and give blood and make a difference, and that's coming up here in a few minutes. Text line 505-246-0610. It says, forget swapping quarterbacks. If you swap Andy Reid and Sean McDermott, the Bills win that game. Mm-hmm. Probably. I think that's fair.
Advantage Andy Reid for sure.
David on the email machine, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, says Allen had what would have been a game-ending fumble on the last drive. Got lucky that the Chiefs tried to pick it up and run it back rather than falling on it. Good quarterback, but hasn't made plays to move his team forward when he has those opportunities. Sounds like some other quarterbacks we're all familiar with. Other quarterbacks are judged on whether they succeed or fail in those situations year by year. He should as well, regardless of whether it's all on the quarterback or not. He's not the first, won't be the last, but losing at home in the playoffs is no bueno. I think I agree with this. And I think he's a good quarterback. And again, I keep going back, and maybe I've overvalued the hell out of this. The 13-second game showed me that he can do it in that situation. 100% of the other times, a quarterback has scored a go-ahead touchdown with 13 seconds to go. That quarterback
100% of the time, it's right. 60% of the time?
100% of the time, right?
Well, we have to move on from that.
Right.
Because he's had two playoff losses at home since then.
Yes.
But there's also the fact that it is Patrick Mahomes he lost to this past one. It was a 3-point game versus getting blown out by Joe Burrow last year. And that's still part of the myth of Joe Burrow.
And he had the ball at the end. He could have milked the drive to go to the end. And he missed the throw. Yeah, he did. No, all that's right. And so,
but I'm with you on what are we doing? They're running it back. Like Josh Allen is going to be the key component. You might make a change at head coach potentially. But these are the ones where, all right, you lost, but you're coming right back. It's the same thing. If Lamar Jackson loses to Patrick Mahomes, it's like, well, Lamar Jackson can't do it. Well, he's going to be in that position again next year potentially because he's that good, and they still have a window. Everyone loves talking about window. I was talking about legacy. If these dudes are your starting quarterback, that's your chance to at least try to compete against Patrick Mahomes right now.
I mean, it's kind of where the Cowboys are, right? I mean, look, Omar's Mr. Cowboy, right? Is the window closing, Jeff? A lot of folks don't realize all the records NFL's most outstanding organization has set the last 3 seasons. It's the Cowboys. The first team in school history to do this, first team in Mountain West Conference to do that. This is the NFL, and your window doesn't stay open forever. Should Omar be concerned the best days with this core is behind the Dallas Cowboys? And the answer is probably yes, right? But to your point on windows. But what do? We've had this conversation over and over. Do you just shut it down? Do you change quarterbacks?
I think Buffalo and Baltimore are in much better positions than Dallas.
Absolutely, as do me.
With their quarterback play the next few years.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we're going to continue this conversation. Red Zone is coming up at 8:30. We're going to get into hirings and coordinators and spreads and quarterbacks and Lamar and all that stuff. 9 o'clock, Kenny Thomas will be here, the former Lobo great. We're going to get into Lobos being ranked. Joel Embiid going for 70 last night. Karl Anthony Towns going for 62 in National Defense Optional Day, which was yesterday in the NFL, or in the NBA. But this is really important. And we've got a blood drive coming up next Tuesday. And look, I don't know if you know the importance, and Drew's going to tell us about this, of giving blood, but we've got a lot of incentives for you to give blood. Next Tuesday from 10 to 7, it's Pint for a Pint blood drive. Drew Sharpless from Vitalant is here. It's good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Drew, first off, the importance, I don't know if people think about this a lot. I'd like to give it, or I'll do it, or blood drives do what for our community?
Well, it takes about 250 to 300 units per day to supply New Mexico.
How much is a unit?
A pint.
Okay.
So 250, 300 units a day.
Damn.
I was just talking to a lady yesterday who is hosting a blood drive for us later on this month. And she was telling me that her son was in an accident and he needed 75 units of blood.
How many are in the body at one time? How many pints of blood?
About 16 to 20.
Okay, so we can spare one.
You can.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, here's the incentives on this. So you're encouraged to sign up, but they'll have some walk-ins, and you can sign up on our website at sportsanimalabq.com. So there's a pair of tickets available for anyone who donates. A pair of tickets to Lobo men's basketball against UNLV. Dude, that's a good game on February 10th while supplies last. Everyone who donates is going to be in a drawing for a $500 prepaid gift card, a drawing for 100 pints of ice cream from Bluebell, and anyone who stops by can register to win a $250 Albuquerque Restaurants gift certificate. So that's a big deal. Where is this? When is this, Drew?
This is next Tuesday, the 30th, and it's at American Home Furniture and Mattress, right there at I-25 in Comanche. And it's from 10 to 7. We'll be there all day.
It's sponsored by us here at Cumulus, American Home Furniture Mattress Plus, and Vitalent Bluebell Ice Cream as well.
No, this is one of those things that it sounds easy, but there's probably a lot of people that haven't donated blood and just might not be sure of the experience, what they need to do. If you're going out there, what should you do? Should you eat before, like things like that to get ready?
Yeah, absolutely. You should have a nice big meal before you come in, lots of water. Bring your ID, that's important. And if you have any questions about whether you're eligible to donate for one reason or another, you're welcome to give our office a call.
Why would people not be eligible?
Well, people have started to travel again.
Yeah.
So there's some, if you went to maybe a malaria risk area somewhere and you spent some time there, it has to actually be more than 24 hours in that area. But, I have a lot of people that come in and they think that they can't donate because they have diabetes. And that's not true. You're eligible to donate. People who have had cancer think sometimes that they can't donate. As long as it's been a year since your last treatment, that's fine. If it's skin cancer, you're okay. Tattoos, that's a big one. People think that they can't donate because they recently got a tattoo. As long as you got it done in a licensed tattoo facility, you're good to go.
All right. And how much of a time frame should people block off for this, right? They're going to go, if you pre-register, I'm going to assume you get in quicker.
Right. Yeah. We want to encourage people to make an appointment, which they can do on your station website.
SportsAnimalABQ.com.
Right. And it's going to take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. We tell people to block off an hour of your day.
Yeah. And look, it doesn't hurt, man. It's a little, you feel, the needle going. You've all given blood before. You had blood drawn. It doesn't hurt. And the amount of good that this does for our community, it's measurable, but it's really hard to quantify sometimes because of the need of what we're doing. And now you've got incentives. B, you've got forewarning. See if you can find, block an hour Tuesday, man. Find an hour next Tuesday from 10 to 7. Get yourself over to American Home Furniture and Mattress right there. You know where it is, at I-25 in Comanche, just there on the west side of the freeway. And while you're there, if you get there early enough, while supplies last, we got tickets for that Lobo game against UNLV, which should be good. UNLV beat the Lobos in Vegas 2 weeks ago. You're registered for a prepaid gift card and ice cream and restaurant gift certificates and all kinds of stuff. And the bottom line is you're going to be doing something really, really, really good for our community.
That's right.
SportsAnimalABQ.com. Register there. It is next Tuesday from 10 to 7. Asking you to find some time to do something for others and a little incentive for you as well. Drew, anything else we missed on this?
No, we just, we're looking for about 100 people to come out and donate blood next Tuesday.
Should be able to get that for you. No, hopefully we get a whole lot more than that. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck with this. And thank you for doing what you're doing for our community.
Thanks so much for having me.
NFL Red Zone when we come back on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is brought.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican.
I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Download the KNML app in the Google Play or iTunes App Store. Just search KNML.
That is a crap. Good conversation this morning. Really, really good stuff on quarterbacks and legacies and where do you go from here? Let's get into it. We got a big weekend coming up, conference championship weekend. NFC will be in San Francisco. It'll be the 49ers hosting the Lions. The AFC will be in Baltimore, where the Kansas City Chiefs will go see the Ravens. And we go into the Tuesday Red Zone.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the Red Zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Let's go, baby!
It's first and goal.
Well, as of right now, there are 5 head coaching positions available in the NFL. After hearing about the Titans hiring Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan, I started to wonder if this trend will continue. So how's the rest of this hiring cycle going to shake out? I'm going to give you an over-under, and you just kind of tell me what you think, and maybe some guys that you think might get hired. So over-under 2.5 current coordinators get a shot as a head coach.
2.5 more? This yesterday's Callahan included?
More, yeah, just the remaining 5.
I think 2 more. I think Ben Johnson and Dan Quinn are probably going to get jobs. Now, that should tell me to go over because it'll be somebody that I'm not thinking about. But I think you're right at the number. I think Ben Johnson's going to get a job, the offensive coordinator of the Lions. It feels like Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator of the Cowboys, is going to get one.
See, I think those Ravens coaches.
Yeah, the more I think it through, as I talk about it, it's going to go over the 2.5. Yeah, yep.
I'm with you on the current coordinators because some of those coordinators are also guys with experience like Dan Quinn. I think he gets one of those shots that we're seeing. And then once teams like Detroit fall out, Ben Johnson is going to get his. And, we'll see what happens, too, with the Ravens because they have multiple, like at least 3.
Aaron Glenn's another one.
Yeah, defensive guys that are getting requests for head coaching interviews.
All right, over under 2.5 recently fired head coaches.
Oh, under. I think it's just Bill Belichick.
Yeah, who else?
I'm starting to even wonder about Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, it's under. I think Belichick's getting a job. But I told you earlier, and the answer is because he's still under contract. The lack of Pete Carroll noise is astonishing to me. But it's because he's under contract to Seattle.
Yeah, that is a very unique situation. All right, so finally, over under 0.5 college head coaches.
So it goes down to Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh's, I'm going to go under. I as much as I thought he was going, I'm starting to think he's just playing the game now.
Yeah, it's Jim Harbaugh for as rah-rah football coach guy, us versus the world, who has it better than us. He is an attention seeker. And bouncing around doing multiple NFL interviews for the second time. It's not just, I interviewed with Atlanta and talked with the Chargers. No, he's doing 2 with both these teams. And my initial feeling was he's going to stick around at Michigan. It just works for him. Michigan guy at Michigan. I think he goes to the NFL. Kind of swayed me back. So I'll go over.
Second and goal.
Ready, down, put.
That Harbaugh one was very interesting. I was surprised I swayed you back, JJ. I've got to be honest. You were pretty strong on him staying the whole time, so that I was very surprised by that. But all right, the Bears plan to hire Shane Waldron as their next offensive coordinator less than 2 weeks after beginning an extensive search that included interviews with 9 candidates. Waldron replaces Luke Getsy, a Peyton Manning guy, who was fired on January 10th, along with 4 members of the Bears' offensive staff. Waldron comes to Chicago after 3 seasons in Seattle, where he was the offensive coordinator and play caller. Waldron's upbringing in the NFL began in 2008 in New England with Bill Belichick, then continued in various capacities under Sean McVay in Washington and Los Angeles before spending the past 3 years under Pete Carroll. So based on this hiring, do you expect the Bears to keep Fields, or will they draft a quarterback with the number 1 overall pick?
I believe the Chicago Bears will draft Caleb Williams as the number overall pick. I don't think you can go 2 years in a row passing up that opportunity just with the way contracts are structured, the fact that you're getting the same return for Justin Fields that you would be for the number 1 overall pick. No, but you are starting a new window for your franchise with Caleb Williams as quarterback. And I don't necessarily think an offensive coordinator sways it one way or the other. In this, the The fascinating one was if they were to hire Cliff Kingsbury. They were talking with him a little bit because Kingsbury was working on that staff at USC last season. But I don't necessarily think the OC dictates where they go with that quarterback.
I don't think it sways it either. I think they've got a pretty good idea what they want to do, and I think if they get the package that they're looking for Justin Fields, then I think they draft Caleb Williams. They trade Justin Fields.
See, the Cliff Kingsbury part is the thing that I found so interesting because with him coming in, it seemed obvious he'd go Williams. With them not making that move, that's why I started wondering, is he going to stay?
Yeah,
So
it doesn't sway it for me. I maybe.
3rd and goal.
the Lions' win over the Buccaneers was their 14th of the season, which makes Jared Goff just the third quarterback in history to lead multiple teams to 14 wins in a single season. The only other quarterbacks to pull that off are Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Goff will also become the first Lions quarterback in franchise history to start 3 playoff games in the same postseason. After ending their 32-year drought without a playoff win, the Lions will need to end 2 other streaks if they want to get to the Super Bowl. They've lost 13 straight games to the 49ers. They haven't actually won there since 1975. And they also haven't won a road playoff game since 1957, which actually came against the 49ers. So, will we be talking more about the Lions' offense or defense if they are to advance to Super Bowl 58?
If they win, it's going to be defense. I think at some point they're going to have to shut down that run. And to me, it's going to be their defensive front. How do they shut down the run, and do they put pressure on Brock Purdy? They give Purdy time. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and they don't turn him over. And Christian McCaffrey runs crazy. And so to me, if they win, it's going to be because they did something special up front. I think Laporta plays. We've been hearing the last couple of weeks he's not going to play. He's not going to play. He plays every week, and he's big. Ertz is nice. It's a good name. It's a nice veteran presence. It's kind of like the Dalvin Cook thing. I don't know that he jumps in and makes a big difference. But if they win, I think we're going to be talking about what their defense did.
Well, and they signed Zach Ertz because their backup tight end got hurt, not because of Sam Laporta, because Brock Wright went down, so they don't have a tight end too. But it's just a veteran guy to have available. And for me, I'm with you. It's the defense, but it's not stopping the run game. It's stopping the pass. You see what Baker Mayfield did to them? I know Baker Mayfield, that's back-to-back games, but shredding them down the field. And Brock Purdy has Brandon Ayuk. Brock Purdy has George Kittle. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where San Francisco can be aggressive, though, in the passing game, too, against the secondary. So if they win the game on the road, I think it's because the defense also trying to force some turnovers. That's how teams have beat the San Francisco 49ers, is turning Brock Purdy over. They haven't looked great in those games. You go right back to Baltimore on Christmas, and what happened? And Brock Purdy had a couple turnovers, and the Ravens were able to run away with that game. So I think it's the defensive secondary, if the Lions win, that makes the biggest plays.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Hear me.
Lamar Jackson became the first player in NFL history to rush for 100 yards, finishing with a quarterback rating over 100, while also rushing for 2 touchdowns and passing for 2 touchdowns. That's just crazy. Jackson also became just the 5th player in NFL history to finish a playoff game with 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns. Just another stat for him. The win over the Texans means the Ravens will get to host the AFC title game for the first time in franchise history. On the other hand, with their win over the Bills, the Chiefs have now advanced their 6th straight conference title game, which is the 2nd longest streak in NFL history. Only the Patriots have more with 8, and that was from 2011 to 18. So this year's AFC Championship features 2 of the league's best defenses trying to stop some of the best quarterbacks in the game. So who's going to step up? I'm going to name a positional group, then I want you to compare the groups from each team and tell me who you expect to have the most impact on the game. So, Ravens versus Chiefs running backs.
I think base impact will be Isaiah Pacheco. And I know you have it listed here when you talk about the Ravens. It's hard not to include Lamar Jackson because he is a part of their run game. He is how they set up so many things that they do. But I think the best running back on the field will be Isaiah Pacheco.
I love Isaiah Pacheco. He runs mad, violent, angry, hard. The best runner in the game is Lamar Jackson, but he's not. But that's what he does secondarily, right? And so to that fact, the Ravens run the ball. It doesn't matter. They get big, durable, tough backs running. It's hard for me to not say Isaiah Pacheco though, because Lamar is a secondary runner, and Pacheco to me is just become an angry go-to 7 yards a carry guy whenever you need.
I like that. All right, what about the wide receivers?
So this is really interesting to me, and you got tight ends as a different category. I like what Zay Flowers has become. I really do. But Mahomes makes guys like Rashee Rice and Marquez Valdes-Scantling special, and the fact that Valdes-Scantling made plays the other day, I'm going to lean, and it's slight, Kansas City.
It's actually very close, but I like Baltimore's receivers overall. I think Rashee Rice deserves to be close to Zay Flowers because of what he did in the second half of the season. They're two really good rookie wide receivers. OBJ and Valdes-Scantling is kind of the same thing, like 2 or 3 potential big plays in a game.
Maybe.
The Nelson Aguilar is better than anything the Chiefs have after that. Dude catches touchdown passes. The dude can make big plays down the field.
Mm-hmm.
No excuses in the pass game for Lamar.
I like that. Aguilar to me is also the one. If he steps up, it could make a very big impact. So let's wrap it up with the tight ends.
So Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Postseason Travis Kelce gets open, make plays. I am big on Isaiah Likely. For the Ravens, maybe they have Mark Andrews packages
Maybe.
in this game. But they're still Travis Kelce.
Look, Isaiah Likely's nice. Travis Kelce, postseason Kelce is historically good. I mean, it's like, just look at the numbers. It's not something you make up. It's not something that, the legend of Taylor Swift. There's not, postseason Travis Auto is really, really, really good. And it's him.
I read a stat that last week they connected for their 17th total playoff touchdown.
More than Brady and Gronk.
Yeah, one more. It's pretty epic.
Yeah.
If Mark Andrews is in there, does that change anything? If it's Likely and Andrews.
He's good. Yeah. But is he better than Gronk? Is he better than Kelce?
Lamar said he's his number one.
Okay. He hadn't played in 2 months. And by the way, he's really good. He's just not that dude. Like this is, Josh Allen's really good. He's not Mahomes. Right? Lamar Jackson's really good. Let's see if he's Mahomes.
I think it's a different conversation if it wasn't Andrews' first time on the field since being here.
Yeah. He's really, really good. And you might tell me he's the second best tight end in the league. He's not that guy in the playoffs. And again, if you have a Michael and LeBron conversation and you pick one, you're not dissing the other guy. I'm not dissing Mark Andrews if I say he's not playoff Travis Kelce, am I?
No, and coming off not playing, and I know they've been ramping him up to get back on the field, but you still expect to be in limited capacity. Whereas, he's on the field, does he draw extra attention and open things up? Which, you're Baltimore, you're like, yes, please, let's have just more of these options. Let's have more things to throw at Kansas City because it's going to be really tough to stop this Ravens offense.
Yeah, it's good stuff today. And you thought that through, didn't you? Really good. All right, Kenny Thomas going to be here coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll kick it with Kenny and talk some hoops. What a big day in hoops yesterday. The Lobos get ranked. We'll get into that. Your opportunity to get into what you just heard on the Red Zone and Deshaun Watson. There's some Deshaun Watson news. Remember him? The highest guaranteed ever for a quarterback in the National Football League. How does he make news with his team and he haven't played in a while? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. You're home for the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
This report is sponsored by Pajarito Ski Resort. Ski close to Albuquerque at Pajarito.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the pennies. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
What you consider to be a frontline quarterback. Joe Flacco was your guy. He was fine. He was their fourth guy. And he might be back next year, maybe not, depending on how much money he commands. But how good would they have been? They think they got their guy, and their general manager's name is Andrew Berry. He said that the organization feels good about Deshaun Watson's rehab. What was his injury?
Shoulder.
Huh? They feel really, quote, we feel really good about him. Happy with the progress that he's made within our organization, both on the field and off the field. We're looking forward to having him back next year. We think he's going to have a really big year and have a ton of confidence in him as our starting quarterback. He's the forgotten guy, isn't he? Like in all of this conversation, when I asked you earlier, you can start a franchise, everybody's on the table. Mahomes is going to be the number one pick. Who's your number two pick? What quarterback is your number two pick? Sean Watson gets lost, man. He dropped down to 12, 13, 16, somewhere in there.
Yes, he has. It's like, how long are we going to live off of what happened 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
It's
for
been
Deshaun Watson.
4 years ago, right? Because it's 2 years with the Browns, 1 year. I mean, that he basically didn't play with the Texans. Yeah. It's 4 years ago, and that's what he got paid $250 million guaranteed on. Sat out 11 games last year. Sat out probably about that many this year, right? Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea, man. He might be better than Lamar Jackson, or he might be worse than. Pick your guy. I don't know. But when I go back and I start looking at, well, who do I want? Where should he be?
He's fallen down. If we did the quarterback draft, where we just kind of went around taking quarterbacks, you would get to QB 13, 14.
I was just thinking 12 to 16, right?
Before you come to Deshaun Watson.
Dak or Deshaun.
Well, I'm taking Dak Prescott.
Jared Goff or Deshaun?
Jared Goff.
Kirk
Cousins.
Right? I mean, you're slipping down to the lower teams.
You're slipping down the Russell Wilson, Derek Carr territory.
Trevor Lawrence is, right? All right, let's do some hoops when we get back. Let's kick it with Kenny. The former Lobo great's going to be here. Lobos play tomorrow night against San Jose State. And NBA off yesterday on the national holiday that was Defense Optional Day in the National Basketball Association. That's January 22nd. Kicking it with Kenny next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
I know. Hey, so it was, I don't know how many years ago, yesterday was the anniversary of Kobe going for 81 points.
Yeah.
January 22nd, and then you have Joel Embiid goes for 70, Karl Anthony Towns goes for 62. I said at the beginning of the show today, you have like a day for everything. I think there's National Water Taffy Day, and National Water Bottle Day, and National Cell Phone.
National Sports Animal Day.
Right, and there should be. And that's probably easy. We just call Hallmark. Is January 22nd the NBA just National Defense Optional Day?
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
I mean, only one team scored under 100 yesterday. 16 teams played yesterday. One team scored under 100. It was Orlando. They scored 99.
It's a different game. Back when you think about Jordan and those guys, which I had the opportunity to play against Jordan when he was a player owner for the Wizards. But growing up watching the Bulls and the Pistons, those
89, 86 games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then I get into the NBA, then it changes, and here comes Steph Curry, and now it's a whole different situation.
What's the most points anybody scored against one of your teams in the NBA? You recall that?
Most points.
Like, do you remember a dude going for 50?
Probably. You got to think about it. You had Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
You had, Steve Francis, who I played with, was probably in the 40s.
So a dude has a night like that, all right? Because I remember people saying when Kobe had the 81, well, we're not going to let him get to 100, right? I mean, when does it become conscious if a dude's going off against you?
Yeah.
When does it start becoming a conversation in your defensive huddle? Hey, we need to do something here.
Well, I play defense, so that's why I was always on the better offensive guy when it came down to the 3, 4, and the 5. But depending on who we're playing in the matchups, it's pride, man. You're getting embarrassed. So that's where those hard fouls used to come back in the day, back when I was in college, and then they still happen in the NBA. Now you don't see that happen unless you catch Draymond just violating somebody, right? But outside of that, it's a ticky-tack game. It's a ticky-tack type game, and it's totally different. It kind of makes me sad, but hey, there's always a shift, and hopefully I'll see the shift before I pass away.
Well, too, you look at like last night's game. Who's taking down Joel Embiid? He's the biggest dude on the floor. The dude guarding him weighs 17 pounds.
He's 7'4".
Has Tim Duncan, Joel Embiid is very skilled, but Tim Duncan wasn't a three-point shooter like him. That's probably why Tim Duncan didn't have the kind of numbers, that kind of game. But he reminds me of Tim Duncan and Jokic, and he's so slow, but he plays at his own pace, and he does what he wants. And obviously, this is a guy that has the ball in his hands the majority of the time, so you feel very free. But when you think about Kobe Bryant, man, like I cried when he passed away,
Right.
and then there's a lot of moments to where there's been days because he has a couple of different months, right? But when a big man is able to come out and dominate the game like that, 70 points in only 36 minutes and 18 rebounds.
And he only shot 2-3 and made one of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He took
And
41,
5 assists.
He took 41 shots, and he only turned the ball over once.
And 5 assists.
And they won the game. It was, I don't know, man, to go for 70. Go for 70. Like you played with Iverson. I'm sure you had nights, right? Just get him the ball, right?
Oh, yeah.
There were nights where a dude's on, feed that dude.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to keep in mind, Jeff, really think about it. Guards are the ones
It's a different world.
that get like 70. and
Because they got
80.
the ball all the
A
time.
big man, like you coming down the court, you're literally giving this man the ball the majority of the time. And then you got guys like Tobias Harris that are pretty good players on that squad.
So let's play the other side of it, because JJ and I were having this conversation. So Victor Wembanyama is up against him, and Wemby had 33 last night, which I don't know, pretty good game, but it makes 33 look like a booger, right? First time he's played, was he 18, 19 years old,
19,
playing against this grown-ass man who just went for 70.
Yeah.
What do you say? You coach. What do you say to Wembanyama?
Well, Pop is probably like, hey, he's Joel Embiid, right? I can see Popovich kind of saying that and telling him you'll have your moment, right? But the way that Joel Embiid came out, he was trying to make a statement like, this kid might be the number one pick, but I'm still me.
I'm the MVP.
And I'm a candidate for MVP right now and has been MVP, right? So, but the way that Joel Embiid is playing right now, man, he's playing at an unbelievable level. And I have to say it again, and he's a big man. And he's dominating the game because now the game is more perimeter play. It just is. Yeah. And everybody wants to shoot from half court.
Kenny Thomas is in studio with us. We're kicking it with Kenny here on the Sports Animal.
I got 2004-2005 season. Iverson went for 60. That was his career.
2004, 2005?
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, you were?
I was there.
Yeah,
yeah, man. Wow. What game? Were we at home?
I
was there.
Beat the Orlando Magic 112-99.
No, it's just Orlando. Anybody go for 60 against Orlando?
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
But yeah, right, man. But AI, he's a different breed. He actually came to Albuquerque for me in one summer. He came to Rio Grande for my basketball camp. It was one of the biggest ones. There was like 450 kids there.
You brought up Kobe, and you brought up Kobe quite a bit on these sessions. I remember the day he died. I was shocked, and I never met Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
But it had an effect on me. I remember calling my brother. He's like, "No way." My mom, who's a Laker fan in LA, right? She never, but Kobe hit, and maybe because it's the way he died, and he died so young. I think that's part of it. But he hit in a way that I was never able to find a parallel to how he affected people. And look, man, he had his off the court stuff, that stuff in Denver that was, he got tried and was not guilty. The effect that he had, obviously, on players. You never played with him, but you knew him. Why? How do you quantify what made Kobe so? I'm looking for the right word, whether it's iconic, special, spectacular,
There's
different.
all kinds of words, man.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, what made Kobe unique, you really got to think about it. Like, think about how dynamic Michael Jordan was. And then you have a guy like Kobe Bryant that's mimicking, to a certain extent, everything that Michael Jordan does. And then his dad, you got to remember his dad was very athletic and he played over in Spain.
Jelly bean.
So Kobe had a lot of different resources. He had the athleticism, and then he watched Jordan all the way down to the tongue out when he was making a move. And then you got to realize Kobe went to another level when he was able to start being able to shoot. And this is a kid that came in the NBA at the age of 18.
But why did he have such an effect on people? When he died, it was so impactful to people who never met him. Now you have, and you said, you still sometimes tear up. Why was he so impactful?
every year because you gotta understand, man, seeing that guy play in person, it was so graceful. And then the impact that he had on the game as a whole, I was excited to see what Kobe had in store after basketball, to be honest, because he's so smart. He was writing books. He was this, he was that.
He won an Emmy, right? Or was it a Grammy?
Yeah, for a short book. Well, it was a short book or a short film that he wrote.
Yeah.
And the impact that he had on
Oscar.
me, I just cried, man. It was pretty bad, and I still do sometimes.
Can you get into like what the impact he had on you? Because you never played with him, but I know you ran into him. I know you had a relationship.
See, but Kobe was the type of guy that he came up to me and he respected how I played, right? And it was one of those things to where I played defense, I played hard, I did all the intangible stuff, and it just carried out through the course of my 11-year career. I knew I could score, but I wasn't the primary guy when it came to scoring on a team. But I was a starter, and I was a starter for like 8 out of my 11 years. And then I was on the NBA ballot for like 6-7 years also.
What was the first time you met Kobe? How did that go? Do you remember it?
No, I don't. I don't remember, man.
Do you remember the first time that you realized, man, he respects me?
When he told me what he told me,
Really?
halfway through my career.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was in Philadelphia playing with the Sixers. I'll never forget.
What did he say?
Basically what I just said.
Yeah.
Man, like, keep up the good work. And then, like, guys like Kobe tried to trade for me because I wasn't playing my last 3 years. You know that. I was just sitting the bench in Sacramento, and I was like the second highest paid on the team, just sitting there. And like Chris Paul, when he was in New Orleans, tried to trade for me, and the Spurs even tried to trade for me, but the Kings just sat me and they blackballed me.
So the Maloofs, they wanted you because you were an Albuquerque guy, and there was a piece of that they would hold on to home, or what was it?
It was the Maloofs, and it was a different time in that moment to where we were losing on a consistent basis. And then you got to keep in mind, I had 4 coaches. Four or 5
Rick
coaches
Adelman,
inside.
Reggie Theus.
Rick I love.
Yeah.
Reggie Theus was a freaking joke. That was the last guy towards the end. Then you had Paul Westphal before he passed away.
Paul Westphal.
He was my last year. He tried to actually play me. I had a double rebounding like 28 minutes in Phoenix. I had like 16 boards and like 2 points. I never played again after that. Who was the other one? Kenny Nat.
Kenny Nat.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Kenny Nat tried to play me too. So obviously it was the GM, and it was in-house. And get this, Sacramento Kings, when I wasn't playing, they wanted me to give a couple million back for a buyout.
Yeah, okay then.
I'm like, I'm not giving them.
Yeah, no, okay then. I'm not giving it. All right, you want to talk some Lobo hoops when we get back?
Oh yeah.
Dude, your alma mater's ranked. They're balling. They
They're
went on
25?
They're 25 in yesterday's poll.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that. They play San Jose State tomorrow. We're kicking it with Kenny Thomas, a former Lobo great, 11-year veteran in the National Basketball Association. We're going to talk some Lobo hoops with him. He hosts the post-game show over on News Radio KKOB. We'll do that next here on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Kicking it with Kenny Thomas is here, the former Lobo great, 11 years in the NBA. It's just for the break. Kenny's giving me a hard time going to Taylor Swift at SoFi. I'm like, man, I got a 17-year-old daughter.
I get it. I wasn't giving him that much trouble.
And I know how to plug in my headphones.
I automatically thought it was a football game.
I know. Hey, your Lobos are ranked 25th. They've won 3 in a row now, coming off of those 2 tough losses. Come home, beat 2 ranked teams. We talked last week about how they're going to take it on the road, and they took care of business, man. They went up to Air Force and left no doubt, didn't play around, just went out and pounded a team they are way better than.
Yeah, Air Force is a crazy place to play. It's cold, it's bad, it's depressing, but I've lost up there. The Lobos lost up there last year. I'm JJ. I'm just keeping it real, man. I couldn't wait to get out of there, man. But the way the Lobos are playing right now, they're playing with a lot of energy. And those 2 home games seems like it transitioned over to Air Force, even though Air Force was a 7-9 team coming into the Lobos coming into that game. But Air Force is giving some headaches to some of the other teams in the conference. But now it's going to come down to what happens tomorrow, because this is another must win, and you got to go on the road, and you just got ranked in the top 25 because all of them are talking about being ranked. But now what are you going to do to hold on to it?
What have you seen out of Mustafa Amzil in conference, just getting comfortable and being a solid part of the rotation?
I think Pitino, for what I was seeing, is trying to figure out the rotation when it came to JT and Nelly, right? I think Emzil was playing out of position when he's down there banging to a certain extent, especially on the offensive end. I don't see him as a post-up guy. Where I see him is where he's shining right now. He's that space guy, and he's moving, and he's doing other things, playing the passing lanes that in which they all do anyway. But he's going to be a crucial piece because I feel like he's one of the top 3-point shooters, or a guy that can shoot it on a consistent basis, because I don't think the Lobos are a 3-point shooting team. No. I just don't. They're one of the best teams when they're attacking the paint, getting in the paint, and when they're getting like over 35, 40 points in the paint, I don't care if they shoot threes. Last game they shot 21%. I don't give a damn about that. Just attack, get the bigs involved.
Yeah, and trying to defend New Mexico now, when you look at what Richard Pitino was able to do with Mustafa Emzil being confident, that a different look for that second unit then, because you have the post play talking about, JT, Top, and Nelly Jr. Joseph going inside, and then you can spread it out. Just more options, but then also tougher to defend.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, because that bench has been a crucial point, and obviously when it comes to conference, there's a lot more scouting on the opposite team, and they know that backcourt of the big three with Denton, House, and Mashburn, with Mashburn coming on strong as of late, to where they're going to be something to reckon with. But when you add the front court into the system, and how the front court has been playing some pretty good basketball, and especially how Nelly, very well done the game before, even though last game it was a little, it's Air Force, man. It was JT's time to shine, but the fact that Nelly's still being aggressive and the presence is there is great, even though everybody's trying to compare JT to me right now, which is unreal.
He's Kenny Thomas. That's who me is, because so many of his numbers are yours, right? Because he's coming up rebounding wise, block shots, so many of the defensive things that he's doing, his numbers are coming up on your freshman numbers. And then he's won freshman of the week 6 times this league. Look, man, that guy to me right now, 6 games in, is a first team all. Never mind all freshman. He's first team all conference,
which is huge, because I don't care about the records. I care about the Lobos being on the map and being a winning team. I even have a tendency to go to my social media on Instagram, and I see things with JT, right, and I see things with the team. I'll tag him.
Good.
And I'm giving him love. I don't know him like that, but the things that I say, I'm like, he got 6-time conference, right? Keep up the good work. Yeah. Stay on the grind, though, right? Good. Because you can't get comfortable. And he actually acknowledges it, right? And I don't care about the records, because I have plenty more records. Right. And if he breaks my double-double record,
knock yourself out, man. That means you're winning.
When Lobos are winning, I get to talk great Lobo basketball, and it's a win-win for the community.
If I asked you 6 games in a conference play, just conference play, who's the Lobos' best 3-point shooter? Percentage-wise, who would you think?
Off the top of my head,
yeah,
House takes a significant amount of them. It just depends on where he's at and how many he's made. But
do you know
Emzil?
Yeah. Just in conference
play.
Who is it?
Emzil.
It's Emzil.
Yeah.
He's shooting 46% now, 6 of 13. And House is 35%, 12 of 34. So he's taken more than twice as many. But look, when he started finding his stroke, and JJ brought him up, I think he's a piece now, because you saw when he was shooting them, right? In non-conference, I think he was 9 out of 40 or something like that. The fact that he's now finding that stroke and the confidence in that stroke, that's a whole nother piece of that offense that you've got to worry about.
I think confidence comes with him, because it's a matter of getting on the floor, right? When is Pitino going to have him on the floor?
Quite a bit now.
And it should be now, right? But I think it was coming to that, because he wasn't playing that much early. So now I'm pretty sure Pitino and that team feels a lot comfortable now, because he's playing the kind of basketball that the Lobos need. And what's really crucial is that the Lobos need that 3-point threat. It has to be there.
No, they do. They don't have a sniper. Yeah. They don't. No.
But it's also like what we were just talking about. Just it gives your team, you're harder to prepare for, because you're just like, all right, let's get ready for JT and Nelly inside, and all of a sudden there's 18 minutes of Mustafa Emzil. You can 5-out offense a little bit with everything that's going on there. But 2, just continuing the mindset. And you mentioned you pop on social media and you're seeing everything about the Lobos. Rankings do not get you in the NCAA tournament, but they get you headlines. And having a number 25 by your name, it just gets people hyped. More people are talking about the Lobos. They're seeing it pop up on Facebook. Yeah. But how do you, I guess, not get consumed with it? Enjoy it as a player, be like, yeah, I'm on a ranked team, but kind of realize that has to stay on
because historically, recently, when they get ranked, they get beat the next week.
Yeah. I was just going to say that. Last year that happened. They got ranked 24, like 21, 22. And then next thing you know, they lose like 2 or 3 conference games, right? And then they lose at home, I think, last year. Just from my experience, I'm not trying to compare my team back in the day to the new Lobo team now and vice versa, right? But when we got ranked, we were like, whoa, we're ranked, right? And then it's one of those things to where I had the Royce Onleys and the Clayton Shields, and those guys were like the guys that were the voices on the team that kept everything in order. Like I could picture Royce right now saying, screw that. What? Top 25? That ain't there. We just need to keep playing. And back when I was playing, we had Utah, like the conference was stacked just like it is now. But you gotta come out and play some great conference ball right now, because obviously the Lobos being ranked, if they stay in the top 25, they're going to go to the NCAA tournament. But where the Lobos actually going to be probably when they do get ranked, they're probably going to be that like 6 to 11 seed maybe. And those games are some of the hardest ones to win. So right now, focus on going on the road. Obviously, take care of business at home. Go on the road tomorrow and take one game at a time.
All right. So I was impressed with the way they played on the road. Right. And I know I told you on Friday, you're playing maybe the worst team, or maybe them in Fresno State. The team you're playing tomorrow night has some talent.
Oh, yeah. And they're last.
Look, they stretched San Diego State to the end. San Diego State needed a Jay Powell block at the end to win that game. They stretched Boise State to the end. Boise State just beat San Diego State. This is a team, and again, you're going to an environment now, which is not a lot different than Clune Arena, right, at Air Force. There's not a lot of people in that gym. It's a different spot. And you're looking at a team, to your point, bottom of the standings. You cannot lose this game.
No, you really can't lose. And unfortunately, what I'm about to say, they haven't beat a big name conference team on the road.
Well, that's just reality.
They haven't. They beat Air Force, and who was the first team? The other team.
That was
Is it just Air Force?
Yeah, they beat New Mexico State and Air Force on the road. That's it.
They haven't beat. You probably don't want to hear it, but they haven't beat a top.
No, that's the reality.
A top team. You're San Diego State, Colorado State. Like you got Utah. They beat Utah at home.
Utah State.
But on the road, they just haven't.
So that's what's going to decide this conference.
That's next month.
Oh yeah.
Because you look what happened this weekend. San Diego State loses at Boise State. UNLV loses at Colorado
Nevada
State.
Loses at Wyoming.
Yeah.
I know you're not sold on Nevada.
No. We'll see what happens this coming weekend, but we can't jump to that because Nevada's playing some pretty good ball. And there's, what is there, 4 teams ranked in the top 40 right now
of the net.
AP?
Yeah. Of the net. Yeah.
And then you still got a couple more that's on the outside. You're San Diego State.
San Diego State was 20. New Mexico was 24. Colorado State was like 26, I think. And then Utah State was 29 in the net. And then I think Nevada was 54 and Boise State was 50 or 51.
Yeah.
And then UNLV, who may by the end of it be as good as anybody else.
I feel 70s. Like it's going to come up crucial, and I'm not talking bad about Toppin. I want him to be good. And I want Nelly to be good. The bigs in the Mountain West Conference are no joke. And Toppin's right there in that category with one of the top bigs. It's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds because I feel like the Lobo bigs are going to be a big part of what happens down the stretch.
100%.
And then Mzil. Why not play Mzil and Nelly and Toppin together? That's not a bad, because think about it. Pretty soon here, you're going to have to start doubling JT.
Yeah. And it feels like JT could survive defensively on a wing player. You needed him to.
Yeah. And he's able to knock down, he's able to shoot a 3, right? But obviously you want Mzil out there in the perimeter more. And now it's going to determine how, if they start doubling JT, how is he going to be able to pass out of the double team? Because that's where it's going to
that's because that high-low could go, and he could find Nelly on the interior, or somebody's going to knock down shots.
Man, Nelly right now, because they're going to be keying in on JT. Like, Nelly needs to scrape the boards on the offensive and defensive end.
All right, Kenny's going to be over on News Radio KKOB tomorrow night after Lobo basketball. Lobos have a late one. It's a 9 o'clock start tomorrow night in San Jose. He and Brandon Ortega will be over on News Radio KKOB taking your call on Lobo Live.
Yes, sir.
And then he's back here on Friday for Kicking It with Kenny. What else people had to know?
Man, just follow me at Kenny Thomas NBA. There's a lot coming. Basketball tournaments throughout the whole state. Just a variety of different things. My Kenny Thomas Legacy Wines about to hit Albertsons in the next week or so in the whole state, and I have some other things coming. And if you're at the pit this coming weekend, Nevada, check out KT Legacy Wines up on the premium suite level and the alumni rooms. Ask for my wine. It's my name.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Random. You always put me on the spot. What's up?
I know. Well, I mean, it's kind of because I know you know what's up. He's Kenny Thomas NBA. You can follow him on the social media. All right, we'll see you on Friday.
Man, I appreciate you guys. Thanks, DC.
All right, the number's growing. International Protective Service has hundreds of homeowners who trust them to install alarms and cameras, keep their eyes on those homes and businesses, and respond quickly. If alarms go off, they respond with armed officers. Reality is police aren't coming for hours if they come at all, and in most cases, IPS is there within 7 minutes or less. During the holidays, many of you travel. During the whole year, you travel. You're not home all the time. Nothing worse than coming home and finding that your house has been broken into. IPS is everywhere. You've noticed them at retail stores, Targets, Walmarts, all over town. They make a major difference for them, and they can help you too. IPS has been watching homes and businesses for years. Mine is one of them. They've got a team watching video cameras, monitoring alarms around the clock to secure your home. Cameras are known to discourage criminal activity. Look, homes that are protected are far less to be likely targeted by the bad guys. Call IPS, see what they can do for you. I think you're going to be impressed, and I think you're going to be happy. 505-897-2420 is the number, 505-897-2420. Online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque a better and safer place to live and work.
Say my name, say my name.
Well, every up.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking.
This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help.
The Sports Animal. We haven't hit this. We're talking about San Jose State. Lobos will be there to play basketball on tomorrow. You see, San Jose, and this happened JJ over the weekend, right? San Jose State got a new football coach. So Brent Brennan, their football coach, took the job at Arizona when Arizona's coach Jed Fish took the job at Oregon when Oregon. Kalen DeBoer took the job at Alabama when Alabama's coach Nick Saban took the job as retired. Ken Niumatalolo is the new football coach at San Jose State, the longtime Navy coach. It's kind of a big deal. And he says he's not running that option. That's not they're going to open it up. They're going to bring in an offensive coordinator that is going to open it up. But I think that's a pretty good get, A, for San Jose State and peripherally for the Mountain West Conference, don't you?
Yes, solid coaching hire. Brent Brennan did a fantastic job at San Jose State. It's one of those like overall records that's a bit deceiving. When you look at Brent Brennan hired by Arizona, they put his overall record up there, and people are like, oh, that's all Arizona could get.
Right.
Well, he turned San Jose State into a conference contender.
No.
Won a COVID year Mountain West title.
They won. He was a champion.
Was a champion, but put them in conversation to win the Mountain West Conference. Not just go to bowl game, but compete to win the conference.
Yeah, no, they won a conference championship. San Jose State did. And this is like San Jose State's been the afterthought in so many. I mean, everything in the Mountain West Conference.
We used to have the conversation.
I know.
About kicking them out of the conference.
I know.
People would bring that up.
You didn't want them in your league anymore. And he made them relevant. I think he's a big force in why that stadium got redone. And he's like literally one of your favorite dudes when you meet him.
Yeah, he's
like literally a guy that you
always look forward to
like.
that conversation.
Yeah, literally a guy that you cannot not like, or you cannot not like. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Infectious, loved that place. Came on our show, I mean, every year. He was great. So Ken Niumatalolo goes in there, the all-time winningest coach at Navy, 15 years at Navy, went to 11 bowls at Navy and was 109 and 83. And he's got West Coast ties. He was at UCLA, but he says that they're going to go wide open and they're going to recruit the Bay Area. They're going to find all those great position players in the Bay Area. And I think it's a great get for Jeff Kanye, the athletic director at San Jose State, and for San Jose State. So you look at the coaches who have come in. Am I wrong? Are there 6 new coaches in this league this year? Like next year in the Mountain West Conference, you're going to have Bronco Mendenhall here. Boise State hired their interim. They went full there. Wyoming promoted their defensive coordinator. So
Nevada
and Fresno State, we're still at Jeff Tedford, right? As of now?
Yes.
Okay. Who did Nevada hire? It was the offensive coordinator, Jeff Choate, wasn't it?
Yes, former Boise State guy.
San Diego State's got a new coach.
Sean Lewis. Am I missing somebody? So, I mean, when we go, I mean, I know we're not going to like, but when we go to Media Day next year, San Diego State, New Mexico, Nevada, Wyoming, San Jose State, Boise State. That's 6 out of 12, dude. Half of the league is going to be first-year coaches next year. That's kind of insane, isn't it? It's a lot.
And
then, we can still talk to Brent Brennan next year.
Yes.
If we want to.
Yes.
The Lobos play at Arizona.
They do play at Arizona next year. Why wouldn't he come on with us next year? All right, we'll do that next year. No, I actually.
Look at
I really
BB
like
conversation.
I actually really, really like the conversations always with Brent Brennan. But yeah, no, we never got into that. Trade in the NBA that happened just now reported. Adrian Wojnarowski, who, I mean, he's Adam Schefter of the NBA, right?
Yes, he is.
The Miami Heat acquired Terry Rozier. They traded away Kyle Lowry and a protected 2027 first-round pick to the Charlotte Hornets. What does this mean?
It means the Miami Heat have some more scoring punch. This is a team that they're so good, but it always felt like they were missing that extra edge. And, Tyler Hero has missed some time, including in the playoffs last year, even when they went to the NBA Finals. And now it allows them to have Terry Rozier, who is an incredible scorer, come off the bench, add that with Tyler Hero, and you still get the defense with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and the mindset with Eric Spoelstra, who, by the way, is the richest coach in NBA history.
Who is?
Eric Spoelstra.
Spoelstra, yeah.
After that deal that he signed. That's crazy. It's good for the Heat because at moments they're a team that lack that scoring punch. In a league right now where you better get buckets, Terry Rozier is a great player to have off the bench.
So Miami is going to be that team that they are every single year, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to come from somewhere in the middle. They're the 6th seed right now. They're tied with Indiana for that last spot outside of the play-in tournament. They're going to be that team that's going to knock off one of those top 3 seeds in the first or second round. And there they are. You're going to be slugging right now. It would be 6 plays 3. So they get Philly right now. I mean, you could totally see them knocking off Philly, right?
Yes.
Who's Philly's head coach?
Nick Nurse.
It is Nick Nurse. That's what I thought. I don't know. You get 70 a night out of Joel Embiid, you're pretty good. Is it healthy to have teams at 30-13, 34-10, 30-13, 29-13, and then have teams 8-35, 4-39, 7-35?
Yes.
You think it's healthy for a league to have just
when you have 30 of the 30 teams?
Baseball's not that different, are they? Are they?
You seen the Colorado Rockies?
Goodness.
If you did the percentages of games played versus the numbers,
when we get 42 games in with the Colorado Rockies, I will bet you lunch they have double-digit wins.
Yeah, but they play more double the games.
No, I just said when we get to this number, when we get to 42 games in, or 43
but
games
the percentages will probably end up being the same.
By the time it's all done?
Yeah.
167, 093, 186 win percentage? I promise you the Rockies will
if you did it, calculated it, like the games versus, like if you doubled what these NBA teams did.
Yeah. I mean, win percentage is win percentage. When you go 82 games as opposed to 162, I understand it's half the games. But win percentage is win percentage. At what point do you have a good enough sample size to say, whoa? I mean, 80, like we're 43 games in. 40, right?
So the worst in the league was the Athletics last year.
What were they?
30%.
Almost double.
Rockies were 36%.
Right? You got, so you said what was the worst? 30? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams under that right now in the NBA. That's unhealthy, isn't it?
No.
That's a high percentage.
I got a playoff team right now at 18-25. It's a .419 winning percentage. I mean, it is what it is.
It is.
But when 2/3 of your teams get into the playoffs, you're going to have teams at .419 winning percent. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of that. But
there were no teams. There was one team under, or 2 teams at 48% last year.
In baseball?
In basketball.
In basketball.
The worst, the Pistons ended 17-65, so it was 20.7%.
So right now there's 2 teams under 500 that would get into the postseason of the NBA. That would be the 2 teams into the play-in tournament at 9 and 10 in the East. That's Chicago and Atlanta. You got 2 teams right at 500 in the West, LA and Utah, the Lakers and Utah. Where the Lakers end up, but they're going to go on some run, right? They're going to get healthy. They're going to flip their switch. They're going to finish 7, 8 in the play-in tournament. They'll win 1 game of the play-in tournament, and they're going to get some young team like Oklahoma City or Minnesota in the first round, right? And probably beat them, right? Isn't that how this plays out for the Lakers? Same script as last year. and then run into a real team like the Nuggets or maybe the Clippers or the Suns? Is that how this works out? I mean, do you see the same script for them as last year?
I don't see him making the run they made last year.
You don't?
To conference finals? No.
Who'd they get through in the second round last year? They beat somebody. They beat Minnesota. Was it Minnesota in the second round? They beat Minnesota in the second round. Right? I'm pretty certain it was. I don't remember who they beat the first round of the playoffs. Might have been Dallas.
That sounds right. I'll have to look it
But
up.
I know they beat Minnesota in the playoffs. Didn't they sweep somebody in the round before the Nuggets? No, they got swept by the Nuggets. Got swept by the Nuggets. I don't know, man. It just feels to me like they're going to flip a switch at some point. And they're going to find their way.
They beat Memphis and Golden State.
Memphis and Golden. That's right, Golden State.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The Nuggets beat the Minnesota. The Nuggets swept Minnesota. Yeah.
So you brought up trades. I'm a little surprised you didn't bring up former Lobo trade from last week.
I didn't see it.
Pascal Siakam.
He's not a former
Oh, he's an
Lobo,
Aggie. Okay. he's
Oh,
an Aggie.
I'm
yeah. No, the
former Aggie.
Yeah,
Former New
Pascal-
Mexico
no.
player.
Phones are ringing. Texts are coming in.
You're wearing the wrong shade of crimson or cherry or red or.
I just fixed that.
Did you just turned off the phones? He did. He just turned off the phone. I don't want to hear your mess.
I don't want to.
It's all the same. Whatever. New Mexico.
Some dude's on his phone right now, like,
who the hell is that guy? I used to like that clown. Idiot. You moron.
You don't know the difference.
Yeah. He was
No,
an,
but
he was an Aggie.
Okay, he's an Aggie. Great. That's a big move. That's a big move for the Pacers.
It's a huge move for the Pacers, and they're sitting right below the Mendoza line.
It was on the talking points, KT. We just didn't get there today.
Yeah, I know. I really wanted to hear
All
something.
right, we'll get him on Friday. We'll talk about that. I mean, you had dudes going for 40, and then he started talking about Kobe. And I know I pushed the Kobe narrative, but
You know, it's
when you get a perspective like that on Kobe Bryant.
Exactly. And you know, it's funny. It's very telling. When you guys get talking, I get to doing side projects. I stopped what I was doing because that was so interesting.
Well, I mean, I don't talk to a bunch of dudes. Who
Usually when you guys are talking, I'm not listening. But
well, no, during that
No,
segment,
it's
I mean,
whatever.
it's a good time.
He's
to
an
do
Aggie.
side.
He's a little bit. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, whatever. I know a lot of people talk about Kobe, and there's people who've met him peripherally. I haven't talked to a bunch of dudes who had some sort of a relationship with Kobe, and Kenny brings Kobe Bryant up so often in conversation about the NBA. It just felt, and again, yesterday was the anniversary of him going for 81. I thought his perspective on it would be special. I mean, not a lot of people have the perspective he's got. And when he said, I still cry about Kobe. Like, damn, dude.
I mean, the anniversary is this Friday.
Right.
I get that. It is so wild to think that that's 4 years ago.
I'm not going to lie, dude. That day was so unbelievable. And for me, because Calabasas is literally right where I grew up, right? Tarzana, Woodland Hills, Calabasas. And Gigi, his daughter, was literally Addie's age, my daughter's age. And I could, if I could afford, if I had to go from, his house in Laguna Beach or Newport Beach to up to Ventura County instead of dealing with the freeways, and I could afford a helicopter, I'd have done the same damn thing, right? And he's just a dad with his daughter and another family going up to play a game. And then it was Kobe Bryant on top of it. But I think the way it happened and the suddenness and the youngness and his daughter and the other family and the other little girl and it just, damn, dude. Yeah, that one hit all of us. That one beat the crap out of everybody. And the fact that, Kenny had a relationship with him. Yeah, absolutely wanted to ask that question. All right, we'll wrap you up when we come back. We might even turn the phones on. I don't know. It's up to DC, the Aggie over there. 505-246-0610. Everything you need to know as you go through your Tuesday next. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports
We
Minute.
would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505 821-9543.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Did you know that?
That was a veteran move, by the way. Immediately just mute the phones.
I'm done with all
You
y'all.
like that? Yeah.
If you're looking for the Mountain West tonight, the 7:00 game. Actually, this is good. You get the 7:00 game on CBS Sportsnet, and then you could get a reasonable night tonight. Wyoming at San Diego State. Jeff
Aren't
Linder.
the Lobos playing that game, Jeff?
Why are you asking me?
Are they playing the other game?
They're playing tomorrow at 9, dude. Boise State, Fresno State on FS1 at 8:30. That'll be in California. And then 9:00 on CBS Sportsnet, Air Force at UNLV. That's what you get tonight. 505-246-0610. Bob, you're in Scottsdale listening. Appreciate you. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Bob.
Hey, I'm in Scottsdale, and I'm an Aggie. Hey, Jeff, you helped me get 9 tickets for the New Mexico Bowl, so I really appreciate that.
Right on, Bob. That's what I'm here for.
There you go. So I just have a couple comments, and I'll hang up. I lived here when Kenny Thomas was in high school and college, and he had a point guard on his team named David Gibson, and I'm really proud of the guy. He got a master's in engineering, and he's like the second in command at Sandia National Laboratories. Yeah. And the other comment I had is I have a good friend, Coach Ron Garcia, that probably helped Kenny mature when he was in AAU, high school, and college as an assistant for Bliss. So, there was a lot of good support for Kenny, and that's probably all I have, Jeff. And again, thank you for the tickets.
No, Bob, I appreciate the call. So a couple things there. Ron Garcia was Kenny's coach at Albuquerque High, and then came on to Dave Bliss's staff when Kenny was at UNM, and I know Kenny holds Ron in high regard and did a lot for Kenny. David Gibson from Sandia High School was a 4-year starter, one of the most unheralded Lobos in my 27 years here. And he wasn't a great scorer. He was a floor general. He was a pass almost always point guard, but was the most settling, and he was perfect for that team because there were so many scorers with Charles Smith, who's still the leading scorer in the history of the program, and with Kenny and with Clayton Shields and with Royce Only and Greg Schornstein and all the guys that they had. Lamont Long came in later. All the guys that came through in that period. David Gibson was the perfect point guard for that era. And the ball ended up in his hands, the game against Louisville in the round of 32, and people give David a hard time for that. Ball should never have been in David's hands. Charles Smith had the ball. Kenny and I have had this conversation on the air here, right, about that play. Charles Smith, leading scorer, go to the Sweet 16. You got the ball. You got an ISO, and he gave it up to Gibson as time ran out, and David went down the left side of the rail and missed the shot. And, it is what it is, right? But no, great points by that caller, and you go back and you look at. I tell you guys this all the time. I know it depends on your era. The best time in Lobo basketball since I've been here, Alford time was good. That Bliss era with Kenny Thomas, when they went to the second round of the NCAA tournament 4 years in a row, to me that was the heyday. Pretty good, huh?
Kind of like the Josh Allen of college basketball.
Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 minutes here at 4. We're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Thanks to Kenny Thomas for being here. Adrian, it looks great on the video, the visual. DC, terrific job again. Pascal Siakam played where?
University of New Mexico, I believe.
That would be New Mexico State. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. we do research for knowledge of each pet. So you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets.